6 p.m. in Limbe, that is in the southwest region of Cameroon, same time right here in Akwa Douala. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. First, our major stories. Demolition exercises are taking an upward trend in Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala. Several traders at the Kululu market in the Douala 2 subdivision and also in Bonamusad in the Douala 5 subdivision are devastated after their makeshift structures got demolished by council agents. Away from that, private school teachers in Cameroon are denouncing the menial salaries given to most of them by school proprietors. Many of these teachers say they are paid way below the country's minimum wage, making it difficult for them to make ends meet. Parents, on their part, are equally denouncing the fact that despite paying exorbitant amounts for their children's school fee, the teachers are still paying peanuts. You'll be getting the reactions of teachers in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for choosing Equinoxe television. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. Several makeshift stalls poorly constructed along the roads have been demolished in some neighborhoods in the Douala 5 subdivision. According to Douala 5 council officials, the demolition exercise falls in line with a fight against urban disorder and consumption of hard drugs, which leads to high crime wave in that part of the region. According to officials, the exercise will run for a month. We have details with Smart Chikan Gabriel.
A physically disabled man was amongst the several roadside vendors who saw their makeshift stores destroyed by the elements of the Douala 5 Council. It was as early as 3 a.m. Friday that the special task force of the Douala 5 Council started their operation geared at liberating the public spaces. We told the people to liberate the spaces because of the sale of drugs and harassment which has become monotonous in the Douala 5 subdivision. Reasons why after a crisis meeting with the mayor, he gave us 1 month to clear off everything which is not properly constructed. Since 4 a.m., we are out. No major casualty has been recorded. According to the heads of the demolition team, most of the structures destroyed are also serving as areas where young people buy and consume hard drugs like tramadol, which has led to the increase of crime wave in the council area. Unfortunately, this destruction came as a surprise to the roadside vendors who say they were never given a warning. We were surprised this morning when we saw pickups of the council lined up accompanied by bulldozers. Normally, if they had the intentions of destroying our places, they could have passed and warned us before coming. We were not given any warnings. This is another way of making young Cameroonians to be unemployed and forcing them to become bandits. On the first day of the fight against urban disorder in Douala 5 subdivision, 4 neighborhoods, St. James, Marie Lumiere, Carrefour Rond-Point Petit Pays, and Entrée d'Envers were visited, and this operation will last for a month.
Smart Chikan Gabriel reporting there. In the same vein, September 19, 2024 was a horrible day for roadside vendors at Mashidi Farm and the Kululu market in the Douala 2 subdivision. Several makeshift stalls were equally destroyed by workers of the Douala 2 Council in line with the Douala Clean City project. We have details with our lady, Eselu Siliengo.
Hundreds of makeshift structures at the Nkululun market in the Douala 2 subdivision being destroyed by workers of the Douala 2 Council. Standing on a building, Theodore, like others, had to put at risk their lives in order to secure what they could recover.
I was trying to recover my properties. While doing so, the driver of the bulldozer continued the demolition. I almost fell from the zinc.
The demolition exercise, which began in the early hours of Thursday, has been qualified by the victims as cruel. They note that they were not informed.
We were surprised at 5 a.m. seeing workers of the Douala 2 Council carrying on the exercise. Is it normal for such an exercise to be carried out without the traders being notified? What do they expect from us? I agreed that the main market be demolished for reconstruction. But till now, works have not been completed. Instead, they are destroying makeshift structures along the road. Honestly, where do they want us to go to? There are limited jobs in the country, no encouragement. Even where we are trying to manage, they are sending us away.
The traders stationed along the stretch, Marché de Femmes, Kaifun, Kululu, say they incurred losses. Responding to the grievances of the victims, the second deputy mayor of the Douala 2 Council says the exercise is in line with the fight against urban disorder in the city of Douala.
The initiative is from the mayor of Douala 2 in order to free road pedestrian tracks here at Kululun Market. Last Tuesday, the mayor had a meeting with leaders of each market informing them of the demolition.
However, the operation, according to workers of the Douala 2 Council, will be extended to markets in the subdivision in the days ahead.
And now we talk education. Trade unionists and some school promoters decry government's abandonment of the basic education sector that has been inundated by unscrupulous business persons. The non-regulation of the sector allows these school promoters to exploit teachers while paying them what they qualify as peanut salaries. Away from that, Innocent Azet takes a look at the job of nursery and primary school teachers as well as their salary situation in the following report.
Teaching nursery school kids and primary school pupils is usually not an easy task.
We have a lot of work to do with children. The work we have, they start with us in nursery school.
From what the teachers go through, many would think they earn an elephant salary. The notion is wrong.
I started with a salary of below 50,000 francs. It was only for myself, my upkeep and the transportation to school and back home.
My former proprietor proposed me the salary less than 50,000. It was not okay for me, and finally they concluded on 50,000.
I've recruited teachers here. I asked them, what was your salary? They said they don't have a pay slip. There are teachers that are earning 15,000 francs, 20,000 francs, 35,000.
Salaries which cannot meet the needs of these teachers who sacrifice their all to keep the children on the educational path.
My preoccupation and all of my needs in the house with my children and everything. So at the end of the year, I was forced to leave the school.
What we receive here can never satisfy all our needs. But when it comes in, when you expect it, it will enable you to manage it accordingly.
A school proprietor directs blame of such an ill treatment meted on these nursery and primary school teachers by some school founders towards the state.
Are the state doing their work? The state that's supposed to come and regulate and say this is the standard, this is the minimum. Nobody's doing anything. And you know today's salary is by arrangement. You can negotiate that you pay your salary 1 franc, 2 francs. Nothing binds you. Nobody will come and oblige you. That is why private promoters who have just come into the profession for money making, they don't want to care about the well-being of the teachers.
Aware of the work these teachers do, some conscious proprietors and their PTA try to elevate the status of the classroom heroes.
But talking about the case of Davio, where my kids are schooling, we sit in the Parents Teachers Association and we make sure that the teachers are well taken care of.
Just like these nursery and primary school teachers, trade unionists plead for regulation of the basic education sector and grants of subvention from government so that teachers could be better paid.
And in the northwest region, school resumption is showing signs of gradual improvement as week 2 concludes. According to official statistics, students' attendance has risen from 12,000 in week 1 to over 17,000 by the end of week 2. While the overall numbers are still far from pre-crisis levels, this increase is being hailed as a positive step forward in the midst of a separatist lockdown. We have details with our northwest correspondent, Bo Stella.
In Dokutunja Division, only 2 students have shown up for classes since the resumption of September 9. However, in Momo Division, the situation has improved from a 0% school resumption in the first week to a dramatic 104 students attending school by the close of the second week. This significant shift has brought renewed hope to parents and education stakeholders in the division, though other opinions hold that the lack of significant effort in Momo Division caused the 0% of week 1.
The solutions to most of the problems we have lie in our own hands. So I am calling on the elites of our municipality to fall back, to give back hope, so that we can together work to mobilize our population.
Local authorities remain optimistic about the overall increase in school attendance. Despite the numbers, many are attributing the slow pace of resumption to a 2-week lockdown imposed by some separatist groups across the northwest and southwest regions. Despite these challenges, some maintain that progress is being made.
We will not relent our effort to talk to our people and also to encourage those who are still preparing to send their children to school.
During the 14th ordinary session of the Northwest Regional Assembly, which took place earlier this week, education was high on the agenda. Members of the Assembly voiced their support for continuous schooling despite the security challenges.
Education is the business of everyone. The learner, the parent, the teacher, the administrator, and anyone, because when you educate a child, you will have dividends.
With the school year progressing, authorities and stakeholders say they will continue to work towards increasing school attendance even as security concerns persist.
And away from education, health experts in Cameroon are raising concerns on the absence of a national plan and resources to address the prevalence of Alzheimer disease in the country. According to medics, the disease, which has no cure, is very much neglected. The medical practitioners was meeting at the General Hospital in Douala in prelude to World Alzheimer Day, celebrated on the 21st of September. Asa Lucy Liengu was there, and now she reports.
An increasing prevalence, Alzheimer and dementia are public health concerns in Cameroon.
Family who have member with Alzheimer's disease have a high risk to develop the disease later on. We know also that the age is one of the main risk factors. 70-year-old, we have a lot of patients who can develop the Alzheimer's disease.
The societal perception of the disease significantly affects patients who sometimes are being stigmatized. This is because of the strange symptoms like memory loss, disorientation, changes in mood, and sometimes they get aggressive. Though the disease cannot be treated, medics say the symptoms can be managed.
There are no curative treatment who can totally cure the disease, but there are a lot of treatment who can accompany the patient, some control of manifestation of the disease.
Also, according to studies and reports, 35% of patients with cardiovascular factors are at risk of developing Alzheimer,
such as high blood pressure, dyslipidemia, having high cholesterol in the blood, the fact of being obese, having diabetes. So generally we know that these are problems which can lead to cardiovascular problems, but also to Alzheimer's disease.
However, efforts are being made to improve awareness and healthcare resources related to Alzheimer, but challenges remain. For instance, there hasn't been a specific national plan to curb the disease.
Generally, this plan stays for 5 years. For the creation of this plan is 2025. So next year, our country must produce this plan with the lead of Ministry of Public Health.
In the country, limited research is carried out, but in the neurology department at the General Hospital of Douala, 44% of patients suffer from neurodegenerative dementia. This year's celebration of World Alzheimer Day, coming up on the 21st of September, focus will be on raising awareness, reducing stigma, and providing resources and support for caregivers.
Asa Lucy Liengu reporting there. Now to sports. The 64th edition of the Cameroon Cup will be played on Sunday between Aigle Royal de la Ménoire and Colombe de Nja et Lobo. Both teams have been preparing intensively so as to give their best during the encounter. For both teams, it will be an unforgettable experience given that it's their first time getting to the final level. Details with our sportsman, Cedric Chakutu.
Sunday at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé, two teams will be facing each other with the ambition of winning the 2024 Cameroon Cup. For several weeks, the finalists have had training sessions and played friendly matches. The men of coach Gaston Temfak have been preparing at the Sanaja Stadium in Chang. On a move to Bafang last Saturday, Aigle Royal de la Ménois played a friendly match against Unisport du Aucun. It was an opportunity for the Ménois club to receive the blessings of the leaders of Aucun before their departure for Yaoundé.
Le président de l'Unisport et ses dirigeants ont tenu vraiment à ce que nous vous remettions ce panier. Ce ne sont pas des paniers de crabes ni de scorpions, mais c'est de l'amour.
After 4 missed finals, Melan Towa, president of El Pacha, finally wants to bring the cup back to the West region. A task that promises to be difficult against Colombe du Jaye Lobo, who also intends to write their name in history by winning their very first trophy. The Southern club recruited about 10 new players. After weeks of preparation, the men of coach Richard Towa returned to a blocked training camp at the Mundi Complex Stadium. The administration, for its part, put all the means at stake for the final. This Sunday at the Amadou Ahidjo Omnisport Stadium in Yaoundé, we will know the successor of Fovu Club of Baham. A match which still has an air of revenge for Aigle Royal de la Ménois, who missed a place for the playoffs up, facing Colombe de Jaye Lobo during the last day of the championship, this after a difficult regular season. A victory for the club will certainly come to alleviate the pain of the relegation to Elite 2.
And that's it for this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs on Equinoxe TV. Coming up next in some few minutes will be Equinoxe Soir with Serge Alain Otto. Bye-bye for now.